Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So in the last video that I posted, I showed you 10 tarot guidebooks that I use as reference books. And then I thought, let me see if I also have some good oracle guidebooks. And I also came up with 10 really good ones that I really enjoy using with the decks together. And we're just going to dive right in. No particular order. This is just how I put them here on my table. So the first one that I really like is the Fallen Angels Oracle guidebook. This one is a deck by Nigel Suckling. And this one goes right into the story of King Solomon and what the fallen angels are. It talks about these angels. It quickly tells you about the elements and what you can find in each of these cards. It also has planetary associations, and then it gives you some spreads to use with these cards. Of course, it also has the Celtic cross in here, and it also goes into the Solomon seal and how to work with that. And it gives a spread for that with an example reading. And then there's also another spread. It goes into the cards. So you get a color picture of each of the cards. Then it gives you the name. And it always tells you the element and the planet of each of these cards. Then each card has a specific message. And then it tells you a little bit about the fallen angel and what their specific function is, and how you can work with that, what that means in the sense of this card coming up. And so it goes through all of these 72 angels, and that's really it. Then there's just one last page, and that's it. So there's not too much about it. It's really just about the things that you want to know, and I very much appreciate that. The next one is from the Astrology Oracle by Lily Ashwell, and this one is the guidebook. And this is extremely nice if you want to take your time studying astrology, because this deck gives you, like, the cards are split up into, there's the 4 elements, then you have the planets, the houses, and the zodiac signs. And you can mix them each together based on your specific natal chart, and then you can look up what each of these mean. So it gives you the card, it gives you a description, it talks about the energies, the experiences, and then how to really work with that, and what to do with that energy in your chart if that comes up. And it tells you how to combine them, and yeah, so even like with the houses, everything is detailed but not overwhelming. And that's what I like when it comes to diving into astrology for the first time. It's not like all these difficult terms that you might be a little bit scared of to get into at first, because it sounds really like you have to know all that stuff. No, this is a very easy approach to it, and it's a lot of fun to take these cards and to actually put out your own natal chart, put the combinations together, and then go through this and see what that all means. Another one is the Mystical Healing Reading Cards Oracle by Ina Siegel. And it's a very thin book. There's 36 cards in this deck. And so it's basically, you have a picture of the card, then you have a meaning of what that is. It tells you, for example, this one is break addiction, let go of your addictions. And what I like about this, at the bottom here, it always gives you an action of something that you can actually do in real life. And there's even something, for example, here it says, for ground yourself, close your eyes, say to yourself, I give myself permission to feel my body and receive deep and profound messages from it. Say, I give myself permission to be fully present in my body. I love my body and I'm grateful for it, giving me a chance to experience life. Take slow breaths and all that. And so it really gives you a practical approach, like an actual guidebook to work with each of the cards. And yeah, something that is not very difficult to do, whether it's breathing exercises or journaling, different things that you can do that are easy to do. Let's put it that way. Another one that I really like is from the Archetypes Oracle deck. This is the guidebook. That's what it looks like. It's a bit chunky, but yeah, you have a full-size picture of the cards. And then you get this description here. So you get some keywords, you get the light, the dark, and the deeper aspect of it. You get some additional information here on the sides. And then the text in which this is written, it's straight to the point, very easy to understand. It makes sense, and you will immediately, like by reading through this, have your, oh, so that's what it means. Got it. Yeah. So this deck is, or this book makes working with this deck very easy and pleasant. So yeah, it also tells you how the deck is structured because this is its own system. And for that, it's really good. Now, a deck that, well, it is called an oracle. These are the side cards, and so the cards kind of look like this. We have a few more here in the back. So this is its own system. And so in the beginning, we have like an introduction, and of course there are acknowledgements. I can't talk language. And then we get into some spreads. And so it gives you different examples of what you can do, even a Celtic cross. It gives you examples. There's even a Tree of Life spread. I'm really interested to try that one, even with tarot cards. And after a while, you go into the card meaning. So it gives you just a small depiction of the card in black and white. And then you have this much written about the card. So for each card, it's like 2 pages, depending on how much they wrote about it. And that goes pretty much almost all the way to the end. And it talks a little bit about exploring with these cards. And yeah, some additional material, because there have been different books printed about this, and they do vary a little bit, but I really like this one. So yeah, working with the cards, this deck is very helpful because the deck itself only comes with a fold-out pamphlet where you get like a very, very quick phrase with each card, and that might not really cut it. So one deck that I also like to work with these days is by Amanda Alice, the Metatron Oracle. And in her book, what we get is a full-size picture, but then we get the name and the subtitle of the card. And then she also gives like a little message or phrase. And then she goes into the description, which is also very easy to read. There's the language is very easy to understand, even for someone like me who has English as a second language. This doesn't leave any questions open for that. It also gives some spreads to work with. And yeah, then the rest of the book is really just the card meanings. And so there's not a lot of wasted space, which I always appreciate in a book. So yeah, this one very good. When it comes to astrology, I have these two. I have both of these decks, and so these guidebooks, whether it's the one for the sun or the moon, it gives you a lot to work with and a really good starting point when you are interested in astrology. And you can use these cards, or that's how I use them, as kind of flashcards for, like, when I look at the astrological calendar, like, okay, where's the moon today? What card would that be? What's the keyword? And to kind of, like, with repetition, having them come up again and again, eventually that will kind of sink in a little bit. And then, of course, you have all these descriptions here in the books, and here as well, going into all the different moon phases and what all of that means if the moon is in a specific sign. And then that deck, of course, it also has other cards, and it gives quite lengthy descriptions of everything. So this is extremely well written, and I haven't really worked with it too much, but at first tryout, I really liked what I found in these two. Now, one of my favorite Oracle books is the one from Madame Andora's Fortune Cards, and that's the Book of Fortune. This one has been released not too long ago. I mean, the deck has been out for quite a while, but the book has been released in 2019, so it's still relatively new. And so the first half of the book has all the card descriptions. So it gives you a really big image of the card, so you can even see some details a lot closer, and then it gives you a full page description of the cards. And what's really cool about this, after the first half, you get like another book in this with all kinds of topics, whether it's astrology or runes or different alphabets. And we also have bone casting in here. There is palmistry. There is what else do we have in here? There's so much to work with. There are also some things like the Chinese zodiac. We have specific stuff from other things like the Celtic traditions. It talks about candle magic. We have things about the gemstones in here, and it talks about Egyptian things, amulets and aphrodisiacs. We've got love spells in here. There is so much in this book that it's not just great to work with the deck, but also you can find a lot of things in here to read on, whether you have the deck or not. And it is some really fun stuff. And yeah, I really enjoy this book, and I'm so glad that I got it when I saw this on Amazon. Now, the last one that I have here, it goes with a specific deck. So this is called Astro Tarot, and that is the deck. This is a 70-card deck, so that's why it's probably called tarot, but it doesn't follow the tarot system. This is its very own thing because the major arcana are only 12 cards, so they're the first 12 in the deck, which are the zodiac signs, and after that it gives you the combinations. So for example, what they call here the minor arcana, they go through all of the signs in the combination. So for example, Aries Mars, Taurus Venus, Aries Mars, Gemini Mercury, Aries Mars, Cancer Moon, Aries Mars, Leo Sun, and so on. It goes through that with all of the zodiac signs. So this is the table of content. And then it tells you a little bit about the design of the card, how they were designed, and how to work with them. And Then it goes into the actual, so it gives you a little picture, and then it gives you a lot to work with. And this is something that I haven't done yet because I first want to read other astrological things before I dive into this one. And what I also like with this one, for the meanings, it gives you a theme, a challenge, support, and some future things to look into. And so that's why I'm curious about this one to see how this works. I don't think this will be a deck to work with in any kind of reading style. I think this is also more to learn and more like flashcards in a way. And that is something that I'm going to postpone for a while. But yeah, and I don't know if this exists in other languages or if this is just in German. No idea. But yeah, I got the deck used very cheap, so I later found the book also for just a few bucks. And that's how this came to be with me, and I'm looking forward to diving into that. Okay, these are my 10 Oracle books that I wanted to show you. And yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you for hanging out with me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.